This is CHH My Radio 580 AM, locally operated, locally owned, your own radio station, My Radio 580 AM, bringing Albertans together.
All right, one and all, good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Sunday. It is feeling like 12 degrees right now in the city. My computer here says it's going to be a low of 10. If you look outside, sun is not shining, it is raining. But that's all right. We're going to be doing our thing. It is warm. At least it's not minus 50, so count your blessings. And I am your host, Big G. I am standing in this morning for LaToya, the fire starter, and Mr. Alaric himself. They are off to Jamaica, doing their thing for the next 3 weeks with the family, showing the kids the land of their birth. And I believe they're going to be going down to my place next Friday because LaToya, she definitely wants to raid my mom's mango tree. So, LaToya, just, save some for me, okay? Don't take the whole tree. Don't take the whole tree. But that being said, it is Sunday. We do unpack a few things on Sunday. I am not from ReiDefine Wellness, but this segment is brought to you by ReiDefine Wellness. And we got a couple of special guests in the house today. Returning with us is one and only Mr. Ajibola.
Hey, BG, how you doing?
I'm good. And he brought along with him today one of his cohorts, colleagues, friends, hanging out. Allana is in the building. What's up, Allana? All right. Now, Allana, this is your first time in the studio here, yeah?
Yes, it is. Quite an exciting experience, actually.
All right.
Something to admire and something to look forward to.
All right. Well, we have only rule we have is don't cuss anybody out, don't swear, say nice things about Big G.
Okay. Always.
And all will be good. And before we jump right into it, for people that don't know, or weren't listening the last time Ajibola you were on, why don't we introduce the folks, let them know who you guys are. If there's anybody you want to shout out, we're now like, hi mom, right? Be a good time to do it. Allana, you want to kick it off? Like who's Allana?
Hey guys, my name is Allana Mason Young. I always say that the A in my name stands for adventure. I'm a very adventurous person. I'm from Jamaica, and I am a student at the University of Alberta. I'm a graduate student there. It's quite an experience, quite a moment moving from Jamaica to Canada, but here I am, we're doing it the best way we can. I also represent the Black Graduate Student Association at the University of Alberta. I'm the VP of Academics and Professional Development, and one of the reasons why I joined this group or even wanted to be a part of Leave an Impact was to help fellow students navigate this new environment. It was a huge culture shock for me moving here, and I can imagine what the experience is like for others, so I wanted to help them to navigate or ease their way into the environment a bit more. So all in all, that is who I am. In regards to special shout out, of course, my mom and dad, they're definitely going to be listening. And I want to also shout out to one of my biggest supporters, my husband. He's like one of my strong, firm foundations here. Helped me to remain grounded while studying, finding a job, finding friends. He was always there. So definitely have to shout him out.
Awesome. Well, let me drop one of these. How about you, Mr. Ajibola?
Oh, thank you. My name is Ajibola Adigun. Like I always say, you can call me Jeebs. I'm the president of the Black Graduate Student Association at the University of Alberta. I would just like to, of course, shout out to all the members of the Black Graduate Student Association, all the members of the Graduate Student Association at the University of Alberta, my very special friend, Debbie in Calgary. I have a lot of friends around town. Pat, my O'Brien's friend. Yeah. So, yeah.
A few people.
A few people.
You know a few people.
Quite a few.
Now, how long have you guys been in Edmonton as international students?
Well, I've been here 2 years now.
Okay.
My doctoral program, yes.
I've been here 7 months, and I'm still experiencing culture shocks.
So you came in the dead of winter.
In the dead of winter, I do not know why I did that to myself, honestly, but
I have questions as to why you do that to yourself.
I always say that maybe I love a challenge
Uh-huh.
because I left right before Christmas, and Christmas for me is like one of the biggest and most important holidays for me, especially back home with
Yeah.
my family.
Yeah, Christmas JA is a thing.
You know, right? Like all the families come from different countries, come to visit and spend time together. And I left right before that. I left on the 23rd. Christmas was the 25th. My heart was broken and definitely shattered coming here. And the first shock was that Christmas here is not as big as a celebration as back home or in general. So it was just my husband and I trying to make it the best way we can, you know, trying to learn the city. It was freezing cold. In regards to like winter clothes and winter gears, we did not have the best of the best at that time.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to stay warm. I think that was a key goal at that time.
Okay. Can you concur with that, Ajibola? Was that the same for you in your first winter?
Oh, for me, so I've spent 2 winters now in Canada, and there's a joke we always make back at home when Canadian doctoral students come. They were like, "Oh, so how many winters did you spend in Canada?"
Wow.
They don't ask you how many years you spent in Canada. They always
Yeah,
ask you,
I got
"So
that
how many
question.
winters did you spend in Canada?" You know?
Sounds like a Game of Thrones question.
Exactly. So
How many winters?
how
have
many
you been?
winters did you spend?
I've survived the last 15 winters.
I survived the long
Yeah.
winter.
But overall, I think more importantly, it's not just the weather. I think there's just so much to unpack when it talks about settling down as international students. No one talks about the kind of challenges that you go through before you even get on the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when you get here, there's all kinds of hurdles that you have to navigate, you know, and you really just need people to hold your hand into it.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that a little bit, because this is kind of part one of a series on kind of the international student experience. And you guys are not aware of this, and some of my listeners are not, but I moved to Canada in 1995 as an international student. It was very different then, in every respect.
I can imagine.
Very, very different. And so I'm kind of curious, one, what made you decide to even make that choice to come here as an international student? Like, what led to that? What was the thought process like for you guys?
Oh, that's a very good question. For me, it started long ago, like since I was a child. For some reason, it was always that talk in Jamaica about migrating, you know, and everyone was migrating to England or America. But then there was a magical Canada that was literally calling persons to migrate to their country. So that kind of implanted the idea that in the future, I want to end up there. I want to be there. Now, studying, achieving my undergrad, working in Jamaica. At first I was wondering, I love my home country. I would love to grow here, and I would love to develop and build my family, build my career here in the island.
Yeah.
But I saw a better opportunity elsewhere. I thought I was able to achieve my goals elsewhere, maybe at a shorter time or maybe in a better way that I expected. So I was thinking that, hey, Canada, that was a long time dream. Let's see if we can make it a reality. Started doing my reading, started doing my research. At first I was considering Toronto, but seeing that that's where everyone is. And I wanted somewhere that is easily accessible to Jamaica, meaning that in the future, if I decide that tomorrow I want to go home, I'm going home. But doing research into my program, into where it is offered and what is offered, I realized that Alberta is the place for me. And honestly, as a country girl, I'm not really a big fan of the big cities anyway. So
You came to the right place.
exactly. And I saw that there was quite a few nature reserves, nature parks here, mountain reserves here. So I'm like, all right, this sounds like the place for me. It sounds like I can easily go outside and take a walk to the mountains. I can achieve my career goals. I can achieve my personal goals here. And essentially, that's what clicked last year. And I was like, yeah, let's definitely do this. So the process began, and here I am.
There you go. Was it similar for you, Ajibola?
For me, I think it was a reluctant decision, to be honest, until some certain point. The usual trend, like you, Allana, is that you often go to England
Yes.
or you go
Yeah.
to America,
Yeah.
right? But I had been working in America for a while, and so I realized I didn't want to do my doctoral studies there. And it seemed to me like I was very, very precocious in that arena, because you know what's going on down south where visas are being cancelled and all of that. So I was like, okay, it looks to me like I know that Canada seems to be a fairer place for international students, and there was also all this call about Canada calling, you know, and all these YouTube videos
Yeah.
exactly about saying, oh, do you want to advance your professional career?
Yeah.
And all these YouTube
Yeah.
you know, adverts. I was like, oh well, if they are calling, then I must go. So yeah, that's how
when they call, you must answer.
exactly. So that's how I decided that, well, I might as well go do my doctoral studies in Canada, and that's why I'm here.
Hey.
You guys have a very different path than me, boy. You want to hear what
Tell
brought
us
me
Of
here?
course. What
Oh
was
man.
yours like?
So, in Jamaica, Ajibola, so to progress from, say, prep school, primary school, high school, and up, you just have to pass an exam, right? So, to caveat, I passed my common entrance exam when I was 10. So, I started high school at 10 years old.
Wow.
I finished high school at 15, 16 years old. So, yes, I was a smart kid. I don't know what happened over time. But, so, that being a caveat, right? And like a lot of us growing up at that age, it's not your decision on anything. Your parents' decision is your decision. You
Yeah.
just don't know it.
Yep.
So I was also a scout, and when I graduated, finished Meadowbrook, that summer I went to New Hampshire in the States for a 2-week scout trip out in the wilderness, and that was the first time I traveled by myself without my parents.
Wow.
I was just with my scout crew. And I got back, and so the whole time they're like, "Oh, this is an interesting thing. He can actually go someplace
On his own.
on his own,
Himself,
and
Big G.
he'll be fine."
Exactly.
Right. And I had my aunt and my auntie. They live in Toronto, and we'd also go see them every summer as well. And so they were just like, "Yeah, Greg, we're sending you to Toronto to go to college."
Wow.
And I'm like, "But why? I want to go to CAST or UE. Back then it used to be called CAST. Now it's a different. They changed the name of it a few years ago. And the whole time I thought it was a joke.
I can imagine.
Yeah. So I applied for Seneca College. I applied for Centennial, but I also applied for CAST. And I'm like, I'm going to get into CAST. There's no
Definitely.
of course I'm getting into CAST. I got accepted to Centennial. I got accepted to Seneca. And I didn't hear back from CAST until like
Gosh.
a week before
The
I was
flight?
supposed to fly.
Last
Big G,
minute.
do you want to tell us the meaning of CAS?
CAST at the time was a polytechnic college university in Kingston.
Oh, okay, Kingston.
Yeah, it's in Kingston, Jamaica. So in Kingston, Jamaica, we have UE, University of the West Indies.
Mm.
And what is CAST called these days? I can't remember. They changed the name of it.
I am not sure, honestly. Like, I know about it,
Yeah.
but I'm not sure what
It's called now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like, it was almost like, say, it would be like the Grant McEwen
Yes.
to university, to U of A. Or NATE would probably
The
be
technical-
Yeah, it's a technical
Yeah.
college.
Is it UTech? You're
Yes,
referring to?
UTech, yes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's what it's called now, UTech, yeah. But it used to be called CAST back then.
Oh, okay.
They changed the name to UTech. So it's kind of like the technical school.
Yeah.
UE is more academic and
Research based.
research based, and UTech is more like practical on the ground based.
And STEM based and everything.
Yeah. So I got into UTech.
But just last minute.
Yeah, they sent me the acceptance letter. Otherwise, I would have stayed. They'd be like, "No, I'm not going." But yeah, no, the decision was already made,
Oh,
and so
man.
I was on the plane to Seneca College,
And that's it.
And that
No
was
discussion, no rebuttals, just
no, there,
full
yeah,
speed ahead.
Yep, it was not my choice.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that's, you see, that's another thing I'm recently discovering. Like, how does that impact young people? Imagine you have your friends at high school and you're looking forward to going to university with them, looking forward to spending the summer with them, and then bam, your parents are like, nope,
Nope.
you're going to another country.
Leaving on a jet plane.
Like, say bye to all their friends.
Yep.
That's it.
That was pretty much it.
Yeah, that's a bit of a sudden shock, though, as well.
Yeah, I mean, luckily I had come to Canada a few times over the years for summer, so I was familiar with Toronto. But it's not the same as like moving
Yeah.
to Toronto.
You're going to have to like find back your community, find back your friends, kind of regain yourself within the city itself.
Yeah, a whole new thing.
Oh.
Yeah, is it like that in Nigeria as well? Ajibola, the parents just their decision is your decision.
Mostly so. A lot of people just make. So, of course, you know the typical thing. You either have to be an engineer,
Yes,
a
yes.
lawyer,
Yes.
or an accountant, or a
doctor.
professor. You know, and then they also choose the university you go.
Wow.
You know, so yeah, they're like, oh no, I went to that university, then you have to go there.
Oh, wow.
The only choice you have is if you don't make into that university, then they will consider other options.
Oh, my.
But they will try all that they can to make sure you get to the top universities and do all that they can to get you there.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah, at least I had the option to apply for 2.
Yeah, that's
I feel lucky. So, like moving here, like what are some of the challenges that international students face when they get here? Apart from the immediate shock of being in a whole new environment that's got serious winter and wildlife.
Yeah.
like what are some of the challenges that exist today? Because in my day it was different.
Well, one of the first things, and it was very impactful for me, was the food.
Okay.
I mean, now as I divert more into the city, I explore more into the city, I'm actually discovering more places where I can find food that I'm familiar with. But initially, when I got here, and I was struggling to find food from back home,
Okay.
food that I know, food that connects me to home, because either way, it's not like I'm a picky eater, but nonetheless, my appetite, it still craves for that food, you know, and it still satisfies a desire that, hey, you're still who you are, there's still a part of home in you, you're just in another place.
Yep.
And at least you can build your home here. So that was a major thing for me.
Yep.
As I said, no, I'm discovering and I'm finding more supermarkets or stores that sell food I'm familiar with, and for that I'm forever grateful, because one of the first things I said to myself is that once I can find plantain here, then I'm good. I can survive, but I just need my plantain.
You need the plantain.
I told my mom that before I left, that that's the first thing I'm searching for, and that was what I searched for when I got here.
Plantain's hard to find sometimes, man.
Oh, the first plant I bought, I saw it, I was so excited. I'm like, yes. I bought 6 massive plants, and I bought them green because I'm like, I'm going to wait until you ripe
let them
so
ripe.
I can cook you immediately. I waited a month and a half. It was still green. I was like, wait a minute. When do you get ripe? I was calling my grandma, calling my mom, like, what am I doing? Am I doing something wrong? And bear in mind, it was in the middle of winter.
Yeah. So you think just put it down a week or 2 from now? It
A
should be
day.
good. Yeah.
I'm used to a day or 2, and it's
Yeah.
right. But a month, I was like, oh my God.
You're probably questioning what kind of plantain that was.
I was questioning. Listen, I gave the plant power talks in the morning. Right? There was days where we had a little bit of sunshine, and
Yeah.
I put it by the windowsill, and I gave it a prep talk, and like, hey, I am
Get
waiting
it,
for
yeah,
you.
Wrap it up.
Exactly. Like, you have someone here that you need to satisfy. Please and thank you. But I found good ones now, thankfully. So every single week I go and stack up. My
Okay.
house, plantain is always in my house. From back home in Jamaica to here, I always have plantain in my house. It's a necessity. If it's not there,
Something wrong.
something is wrong.
That is hilarious.
So yeah.
Yeah. I had a similar experience to when I came, and I used to pride myself that I could live everywhere or anywhere. But when I came to Canada, of course I started eating, but then I was actually clinically diagnosed of depression.
Okay.
And then I realized it was actually because of the food that I wasn't eating.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So when I changed my diet, then all of a sudden my mood lifted. You know, everything was. I was like, wow. So this is what has been missing. My diet had changed, and I was not very conscious of it, and it had affected me so badly that Once I changed it, everything was fine.
Wow.
Food heals the soul, man. Food heals the soul.
So yeah, it was. I didn't know it was that important until I went without it.
And how, like, how did they arrive to that diagnosis?
Well, because I went. I had to go to the clinic because
Yeah.
I wasn't feeling really well. It was in the middle of winter, so of course I thought it was just. I just needed some pills, vitamin D supplements and all of that. And I wanted to go get that. And then I started being asked questions about, they were like, oh, you should go see a psychologist, and all of that. And so, yeah, that's how we got the diagnosis,
Wow.
And yeah.
That's actually really good. Not many doctors
Can't
think,
pick that up.
can think that way, because they're quick to give you the pills.
Yep. I'm surprised they didn't do that at the first school,
I mean, I brought my pills because
Yeah.
I already knew, actually. I already brought the supplements.
Yeah.
I just knew that there was something else missing. you know?
And that
Yeah.
was the missing key.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Well, I mean, like, it is interesting. Like, I mean, I remember the first time I saw a Jamaican restaurant in Toronto. I was like, wow. It was called Mr. Jerk.
Oh, nice.
And I was like, okay, y'all sell this stuff here too. Okay.
I'm worried about my daughter's future. Don't worry.
This is Team. Visit eminentcollege.ca or call 587-686-8348.
My Radio 580 AM, bringing Albertans together.
So when they call, you must answer. Respond with your hands up. When they call, you must answer. Respond with your hands up. When they call, you must answer. Respond with your hands up. When they call, you must answer. Respond up. In my flesh, in my bone, I can feel it up in my soul. Lighten up everything I know. Everything I know. Hey, this is love. This is growth. This is vision and this is hope. So God's spirit bless in this world. Come and let it show.
This is CHH My Radio 580 AM, locally operated, locally owned, your own radio station, My Radio 580 AM, bringing Albertans together.
All right, we're back at it. That was a little bit of taste of Marshall Montano, The Spirit. It is a countdown to Carrie West. As if you guys listen, you know the countdown started yesterday to the Road March, August 9th, downtown Jasper Avenue. Be there. If you're not there, you're missing out. It's not my fault. You were told. But we're chatting more with Ajibola and Allana. Talk about that international student experience. Now, back in 1995 when I came here, one of the things that was, and you guys might find this weird, the ability to gain work experience. Right? And when you talk about like stressful things, like, yeah, I was here living with my aunts, so I was lucky that I didn't need to board. I could live with my auntie them off campus. But it'd be great to have some money on my own, right?
Yeah.
But in them days, you were not allowed to work off campus, and you could only work a maximum of something like 10 hours a week
Wow.
on campus.
That's small.
Yeah, and you couldn't get a summer job off campus either. Like if you had a summer job, it had to be on campus.
Oh my gosh.
And well, who's on campus in the summer? Right? Like, how has that changed now? Because I'm not too familiar with the way it works nowadays.
Oh my gosh. So a lot has changed now, and a lot is still changing now. But currently, thankfully, we have progressed a long way.
Come far.
So
Come far.
yeah, thankfully. So now during studies, you can work up to 24 hours per week.
Okay.
And then when you're not studying, when you're on summer break, you can work up to full time, 40 hours or even more, as much as you want. And funny thing that you brought this up, because even now being on break and reflecting on my first semester at school, I realized that I spent majority of my time not focusing on my studies, but focusing on finding a job and focusing on finding my community. Because a lot of time, even after classes, I would go to career fairs, I would go to drop off my resume, I would be calling, trying to do interviews. I spent so much time worrying about that I did not even spend as much or half as much time on my studies, and seeing my grades, I saw where they were impacted by that.
Yeah.
You know, so it is stressful to try and gain that, because everyone is saying, oh, you're an international student, can't hire you, you have limited hours. Oh, you're an international student, can't hire you, don't have any work experience. Oh, you're an international student, just can't hire you.
Yeah.
You know,
And that's, I find it interesting when they say work experience, because it's like, back then it was like, how are we to get work experience?
exactly. Like, we need experience to get experience. So,
So there is work experience, but there is Canadian experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's another,
yes,
that's another one.
Yes.
So they ask you, so usually they don't even ask you for work experience. They actually ask you for Canadian work experience.
Yep.
And that's how they get you, because how do you get Canadian work experience if no one hires you?
exactly.
And I know that Allana says things have changed and all of that. And it's true that things have changed. You can work about 24 hours in a week if you get it.
Yeah.
If you can get a job.
Yes.
I remember the first few months I spent here, I literally spent weeks and days. I had an Excel spreadsheet where I was, tallying up how many hours and how many things I was. I think at some point I was like, it's not you. It's just that there's something going on with this system, and maybe it's because there's no Canadian work experience on your CV, even though you have a lot of international experiences, but because you don't have Canadian experience.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized that, actually, this is a different work environment, and you need to find a way to get it.
Yeah.
And so, if you can get it, 24 hours of work, if you can get it.
Yeah.
How do you find the quality of those jobs, though? Like, is it, like, I mean, when I was lucky in terms of being able to find jobs on campus. So, like, I worked at, Seneca used to have an auditorium called the Minkler Auditorium. So I was my very first job was an usher at the Minkler Auditorium.
Nice.
And I quickly rose to being an assistant manager. But then I also was a tutor in the learning center. Not the most glamorous of jobs, but like, how is it now? Like, in terms of the quality of jobs, like, is it like when you get that Canadian experience, are you looking at starting at the very, very bottom? Like, what is that process like?
I mean, an important thing that Ajibola said is that you have to focus on the fact that it's not you.
Yeah.
You see, when you reach that point, when you reach that acceptance, when you start to accept that point, you open up yourself to, you're willing to accept any and everything right now, because you need the funds, you need the financial assistance. In terms of the jobs right now, I see that a lot of jobs where international students are working at are the minimum wage paying jobs.
Yeah.
And in terms of their quality, honestly, I can't say, because I don't have anything to compare it to. I haven't experienced a good paying job or a good environment job here to compare to my current job that I'm working at. And even speaking with other students, they're either working as servers or bartenders, something to just get pay the bills. And it's the same for them. They're just focusing on getting that income, not focusing on anything else, making a lifelong experience or trying to work there for years. We just need to pay our student fee to survive and pay for rent.
I think for me, as a research graduate student, sometimes you're promised some sort of work on campus, either as a graduate teaching assistant or research assistant and all of that. But I guess the problem is because of a lot of the intakes, the hours do not go round, right? So they have to ration it. So for example, you would get maybe 3 hours of work, which is not a lot. For it's not even enough to pay anything, all right? But at least they say, well,
It's
we didn't
something.
promise you a job, right? So you're just going to take what you get. Then you have to look for supplemental income by doing other jobs outside. And of course, what that does is that you don't necessarily get the best. But one thing I really, really need to touch on is that there's always this conversation about international students taking jobs.
Yes. Yeah.
And for me, it's just such a... I don't know how to classify that argument because...
I could tell you how to classify it.
Oh, you tell me.
It's disingenuous.
Oh, thank you for that one, because I was trying to be very, very diplomatic on radio, right? Yeah, but you see, people don't understand the fact that to even get any job at all is hard.
Yep.
And the question, another thing is that people often think that international students came to Canada to do jobs.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not the point.
Yeah.
Like, I have friends, I have colleagues who literally sold a lot of stuff and they have a lot of money that they brought into Canada, right?
Yeah.
But what happens when you're in Canada, you're paying tuition that's 3 times as much as local fees.
Oh gosh, talk about it.
And there's a tuition cap for domestic students.
Yes.
And international students have to make
Carry
up
the load.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, and so you are paying 3 times as much, and you also have to spend a lot of expenses because you don't know your way around.
Yeah.
So you have to, for example, in your first few months, you have to pay for a lot of Lyft and Uber because you don't know how to use the transit system yet.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, so you need some time to get. So those bills add up.
Yep.
And then you have to start navigating the system and all of that. And yeah, it just adds up. And I think it's very important to always, when we're talking about these international student experiences, it's always very important to be a little bit more empathetic, to be more empathetic to international students who decide to make the Great White North there.
But that
A temporary home.
that false demonizing of international students has always happened. So when I was at Ryerson in particular, my tuition at Ryerson was $13,000 a year. I was not staying on campus, so it was a lot cheaper. If I had stayed on campus, it would have been like $25,000 a year. But at that time, the Canadian students' tuition was $4,000 a year. And students would often make the remark of, well, you guys have to pay more because you don't pay taxes. I'm like, I'm sorry. Have you seen my paycheck?
Exactly.
There's taxes coming out of my
Exactly
paycheck. What are you
right.
talking about? And at the time, the government was in debate about raising the cap for Canadians. And so they were all up in arms about raising the cap on tuition for Canadian students. And they had the audacity to come to international students to ask us to support them in their efforts. And we were like, you're paying $3,000-4,000 a year. Do you know how much I pay a year?
Exactly.
I'm sorry. You can go kick rocks.
Exactly. Like, you're already doing enough.
Yeah. Like no. Leave us out. In Jamaica, we have a saying, cockroach in the business in a fall fight.
Yeah.
Leave me out of it.
That's definitely the idea for this one.
Yeah. I don't want no part of your bangarang.
Exactly. And I feel like that is still happening at present moment, because oftentimes you're still seeing the tuition fee increase
Yeah.
at the universities, right? I always look for domestic versus international. The gap is still wide, and it still feels like the gap is getting wider and wider, right? And even in regards to jobs, it feels like recruiters know that international students are desperate. We are desperate for jobs. So they're they know that we will just take anything just to be able to afford to live.
Yeah.
So they will give us the lowest of the low wage, but the work, the demand, the workload is very hectic. It's very tedious. So imagine a student trying to maintain that job, try to work as much as they can, and trying to study at the same time.
And keep your grades up.
And keep your grades up. Trying to survive your personal life because you have to maintain your health, your physique, contact with your family. Trying to maintain your grades because you came here for a reason. You came here with a goal. You got to achieve it. But you still need funds.
Yes.
Even if you had funds back home and came here with it, as Ajibola said, in no time, those funds are going to disappear because you're still trying to navigate. You're still learning.
I think another toll that it really takes, it's beyond the financial. I think it's also a lot of emotional
Yes.
stress that it takes, especially for those who are married, for those who have children.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people don't realize that most international students actually get their visas at the second try.
Yeah.
Ah.
Exactly. Because most times the visa is rejected first and then they have to reapply. So for myself, I should have started my doctoral program a year before.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I couldn't because my visa was denied. I had to reapply again, and I had to suspend my studies for some time to reapply again. And that's not just me. That's the average. I have classmates who had to go back to their home country because their spouse didn't get a visa, and the marriage was going to.
I'm worried about my daughter's future.
Visit eminentcollege.ca or call 587-686-8348.
This is CHH My Radio 580 AM, locally operated, locally owned, your own radio station, My Radio 580 AM, bringing Albertans together.
All right, we're back. Brother Alric, I see him on the chat here on the line here, asking for Canadian experience and Canadian credentials is big bait and switch. Yes, it is a bait and switch. He also says, question, how does that affect your self-esteem and confidence? Dealing with that bait and switch.
That it took a huge hit. For me, it took a massive hit, right? I was leaving a job in Jamaica. I came here. I thought I had substantial experience, right? Especially as a young individual coming up in the career field. I thought I had at least enough experience for a secretary job or something that I can still stimulate my mind or something. But when I was getting rejected left, right, and center, I was like, what's wrong? Right now there's so many copies of my resume, so many variations of cover letters on my laptop to each job that I've applied for. As Ajibola said, it took a long while for me to realize that it was not me, right? I started hearing from other students that, hey, they sent out like 500 applications before they got a job, a minimum wage paying job, just a basic entry-level job, right? They've sent out 600 applications before they got a job. And I was like, is that going to be me? Like,
It's a fair question.
yeah, like, will that be me? Will that be my situation? I spoke to persons who said that they've waited a year before they got a job.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw my funds dwindling down. I saw the tuition fee. I saw what was happening. I was like, I do not want that to be me, you know? It took a drastic hit for me. And as I said, all of this happened within my first semester while I was still at school. So navigating this, I remember went to class. After class I was studying. And then I got a rejection email from a company I thought I would hear back from, a positive review. I crashed out. I literally got up, I took a walk, and I crashed out right there in the university building, took a breath, came back, said, all right, let's get the job going. I left studying, I left what I was doing, immediately started making a billion calls to other companies like, hey, are you still hiring? Do you need someone? What's going on? It took a long while for me to realize that it was not me. It's just the environment is just what I have to deal with, and I just have to be patient and have faith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think even for research students, where you are supposed to have some sort of minimum hours of research experience at the university, even that is very, very hard to get.
Okay.
Because, well, some fields are luckier than others. For example, my friend here, Allana, she's an engineer. So they are luckier than those of us in the humanities. So,
Yeah.
Still to experience that.
But even then, the hours you get are barely enough to sustain you.
Yeah.
So that you have to look for other sources of income and other research experiences. And then that's where the journey starts, the journey of self-esteem.
Yeah.
And so when you do it long enough, I think what it starts to do to your soul and your mind is that you start to recalibrate your self-worth. And you start to think, oh, perhaps I was asking too much.
Exactly.
Perhaps I was, okay. For example, I mean, I've had a lot of international experiences, and I was like, actually, well, middle level management, okay, maybe that's not, maybe I'm aiming too high. Okay, what about low? You know?
Yeah.
Okay, what about entry level?
Exactly.
Entry level, please,
Yeah.
you know? And it just basically makes you, rethink yourself, reevaluate your own competencies and whatnot. And eventually, I think you start to realize that actually it's a different work culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you start to understand that, I think it gets easier to navigate. Unfortunately, a lot of times before people do, 1 year is already gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
2
Right.
years.
It takes a while to.
It takes a while.
Takes a
yes.
while. Because I even remember there was times where I applied for certain job positions within my field, right? And I was pretty confident, looking forward to, hey, I have the qualifications, I have the mindset, I have the skills. But I was just waiting on a response. Went to school the next day, was just there chilling, eating lunch or whatever. I hear a group of students nearby talking about the same job position, how they did an interview for that job position in the morning,
Yeah.
and it went well. And while the other friend is talking about another job that I also applied for, and like, hey, I also did an interview for that position, yet.
Wow.
And I was just there like, am I the problem? Like, I was literally
So
wondering what's
basically,
up.
the competition is also pretty high for.
Yeah.
Yes. And I also feel like the Canadian experience thing, I feel like it's part of the Asian culture.
Yeah.
So that by the time you get over, you're like, oh, now I have Canadian experience.
Yes.
And the terrible mistakes of the past is part of it.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's all part of the growth and the learning of it.
Yeah.
I mean, some people might be listening, like, well, you got to pay your dues. Yeah, paying your dues is one thing.
It is, but it doesn't have to be this hard, you know? It doesn't have to be this. The path to do that does not have to be that rocky and challenging.
I'll be honest with you, especially for a lot of professionals,
Yeah.
some people never really recover from it.
Okay.
Because there are too many hurdles. For example, people who are already engineers or medical
Yeah.
doctors, especially people in professions, right? Like medical doctors, lawyers, and all of that. And if they come into grad school as international students, the hurdles to get recredentialized,
Yep.
it's expensive, it's torturous.
Yeah.
Some people really just give it up. And then they just switch into other careers.
Yeah.
And just, for example, doctors who are working as, I mean, we know that joke about if you get a heart attack in a Toronto taxi, you might be attended to by a doctor from India or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's a real joke
It
that-
is a real joke, and
It's very
yeah, it
funny,
just
though.
basically
Yeah.
just
It's
illustrates.
not funny, but it's the thing. That,
Yeah, and it's so unfortunate. But that's very-
Well, I mean, like I remember I mentioned this on the air. I think I was live when I mentioned it once. Margie, like her dad, they're from the Philippines. They immigrated here from the Philippines, and back in the Philippines, her father was one of the lawyers for the Marcoses. Now, if anyone remembers Filipino history,
Yeah.
the Marcoses were the rulers of the Philippines, and he was one of their lawyers. And he read the tea leaves, and was like, I got to get out of here. Moved his family to Toronto. He was not able to get a job in his legal profession, and he only could get a job as a security guard.
Oh gosh.
And he would still get letters from the Philippines addressed to him, barrister so and so and so. He walks in a room, in any Filipino setting in Toronto, and it's like, oh, Mr. Beseda is in the building. But the system would not allow him to do what he does best.
And that's so unfortunate because you're calling for skilled workers. You're calling to improve your workforce. And
Yeah.
here people are coming to do that, but you're not allowing them to.
No,
because
no,
even
no.
if it's a delay, that's fine. Delayed but not denied.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are continuously pushing that delay to years and you're making it harder and harder for them to actually do what they do best, then you're basically denying them.
Oh, yeah.
And what?
Yeah, there's this old thing about access, community, and belonging in different universities around that I'm not going to be mentioning. And even though it's a very catchy phrase, I feel like it says everything, but I feel like there's not enough action to back those words up. Because if you really want people to have access, then you have to give them support.
Yes.
And then you have to really, really reach out to them. And when they reach out, you don't push their hands back, you know? And international students, by the way, are also a big part of the Canadian economy.
Yes.
And it's
Massive
also,
part.
I think that one thing I really would also like to say is about really the soft power of international students. As some global leaders are trying to, shake off their responsibilities down south, Canada does have a big responsibility and a big role to play in that sort of soft power leverage,
Yes.
as using international students, because international students eventually become ambassadors of Canada wherever else they go after they finish their graduate school, if they either choose to stay here or not. I always say that, like a snail, I carry my home around, right?
Yes.
And I think a lot of us do too. Wherever you have stayed, there is a part of it that stays with you wherever else you go.
Yeah.
And I think that's also a very, very important part of the international student experience.
Well, I mean, we are 8 to the hour of 8. We got Miss Laura coming in at 8 o'clock with Latin Hour. We'll be back next week with part 2 of this conversation, where we'll kind of jump into the coping side of things. How do you cope and deal with these hurdles, and what do you do to keep grounded and keep it moving? But I'd like to thank you all for riding with us. It is raining. Stay warm and dry out there. I'm going to be off to Grand Prairie today.
Nice.
And I'll be here next week. Don't worry about it. I'll be back on Friday with Special K, the next 48. Back with Danny, my partner in crime, on Saturday mornings with the Weekend Morning Show. And then we'll be back here with unpacking more things on the International Student Experience. Ulrich and LaToya, I see you in the chat. I hope LaToya leaves some mango for the rest of us.
For me too, please.
Me too.
That's right.
Secure about it.
Real tropical mangoes.
That's
I'm
right.
planting. Real Jamaican planting.
Hey, you heard that, Ulrich? Allana says bring her back some real Jamaican plantain.
Please and thanks.
Till then, y'all, we're going to drop a little something from Jamaica just to kind of, get people dancing and moving this morning. This one is from Nadine Sutherland. It's a classic. It's called Action. Till then, y'all, enjoy the weekend. Stay warm and dry.